You're watching TTV. I'm your host, Charlie Christmas, and this is the Big Small Business Show. Thank you again for joining us. Have you noticed the change of scenery? We are actually in luxury homes. How beautiful is this? Thank you so much for allowing us to use this space. So today we're talking about wellness and beauty. Now, this sector forms a huge part of the economy here in Oman and is facing and has faced quite a few challenges over the past couple of years. Today, our expert is the lovely Sarah Saleem. Welcome so much to the show. Thank you for coming and joining us here.
It's so exciting to be here with you today.
I know. Now, Sarah, before we get started, could you tell our viewers a little bit about you, how you've come to be in Oman, because you're originally from the UK, and just your previous history before coming here?
Yeah, sure. So prior to coming to Oman, I was in the legal sector. I actually qualified as a barrister. I worked a long time in the legal sector, predominantly looking at criminal law and immigration, those type of areas. And then I got married and I was pregnant. And we decided, me and my husband, that we would move to the Middle East for a year. We gave it a go for a year. And of course, we've ended up staying here a lot longer. We've been here now just over 10 years. And I had my baby, my first baby. When I had him, everything changed for me. I didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5 and a legal career. I didn't have the time that I needed to commit to that profession at that time. And so I took a break. I took what I thought was a break, and it's turned out to be a very long break.
Over 10 years. That's quite some break.
Yeah, so we're still going on the break.
So obviously between law and the beauty sector, there's a huge jump. One really doesn't have much to do with the other. Why beauty? What made you choose that as your sort of lifelong career?
I don't think I chose it. I think it chose me.
That's a lovely answer.
I really think that's the way it happened, to be honest, because my mindset was always in the legal field and when I would be going back. But I guess being a mum, you pick up hobbies along the way. And skincare was something I was very interested in, especially moving to the Middle East and, the sun and sun damage and lots of various skin issues that I became a lot more aware of, should I say. I basically started DIYing, and I was doing things for myself, and friends would notice the difference in my skin. And I guess when you get to that age bracket, I think 27, 28, 29, things start happening to your skin and there's changes. And you start...
Especially here with the sun.
Here in particular. And everybody in that circle and that kind of age bracket, you all start noticing something different happening to your skin. And then a lot of friends would say, oh, what are you doing? Your skin's in good... What are you doing? And it kind of evolved from there. And I would say, well, this is what I'm doing. Oh, can I have some? Yes, sure. Oh, I need some more. But I can't keep taking this from you without, some sort of payment or whatnot. And it really just evolved naturally from that kind of momentum.
So for any of our viewers at home, of which I'm sure there are many, because I think skincare and beauty, as I say, it's such a huge part of the culture here particularly. So for any of our viewers at home who would wish to move into this area as a career, what do they need as far as education is concerned? I mean, what did you do? Obviously, you're a trained barrister. You obviously did a course or some courses. What?
For me, I guess for the beauty sector, I picked up a lot of courses online to gain knowledge and information, but they were mainly, from a hobby perspective. It's not something where I've gone and done a 2-year degree. It was very manageable, so I picked up things, little courses here and there, and I really kind of widened my knowledge on various ingredients and how they work and how they interact and the best way to formulate, and various things like that. I think if somebody was looking to move into the beauty sector here in Oman, I would say definitely do it. There's always scope. The beauty sector is massive, and there's always enough space for another brand, I think each brand, each company comes with its own quirk and its own individual, unique selling point, as it would be. And I think anyone can do it, really. If it's something you're passionate about, you enjoy, you want to do it, you can definitely do it.
So you just touched on a unique selling point. what is your USP? So what sets you and SAE Skincare aside from everyone else?
Other brands. You've asked me a really interesting question. Obviously, I'm very biased because it's my brand, and I do think,
I do use your brands, and I do love it. So yeah,
I think there's a few things. I think because we produce in-house, it ensures the potency of our products. That makes a big difference, and we haven't just offloaded to a bigger company who mass produce and rebrand. That's not what we're about. We're very much about products formulated in a way that are effective, they're going to work.
And you actually tailor make some of your products for your clients.
We can do. We tend not to. But if somebody comes to us with various skin concerns and they need help, we're here to help, basically.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes and they need help and they need something a bit different to what we're offering, we are flexible and we will do that. It's not something I promote. It's usually my human side that says, they need help. I need to do something different here, and I'm happy to do that. But I think one of the other things that makes us stand out from the rest is the fact that we offer personalised skincare schedules. So what we do is we ask clients to send us a photo of their skin. We have a look at that. We also ask them to send in some details about their skin concerns, what their issues are, what changes they'd like to see, and then we recommend products that will help them achieve their goals. But when we send out their delivery, we also send out a schedule specifically telling them when and how to use the products to achieve what they need to achieve with regards to their skin. Mm-hmm. So it's very clear. You'll get, for example, Sunday morning, do this. Sunday evening, do this. And it'll also come with a personalised advisory, based on the information that you've shared with us. We could let you know, for example, you said that you've got dry skin. If you find your skin gets a bit dry, perhaps do this, try this, move this. So it really gives them...
It's almost like having your own personal cosmetologist.
As much as we can, we try to do that. And I'm hoping it's something we can keep up with.
Yeah.
As we're growing, it's getting difficult because I do try to do the schedules all myself.
Yes.
Just to ensure everybody's getting the service that they want or the service that they think they're buying. And I don't really like a generic schedule and send out.
Yeah, I don't know any other skincare brands that offer that service. So that definitely sort of puts you on a different level to a lot of brands out there. Talking about expansion, because you just said that you are expanding the business. How are you doing that? And what advice can you give to our viewers who maybe have started small and are also now at the point where they're thinking a little bit bigger?
About expanding. It's been in the pipeline for a little while, but as you know, because you know me, I'm very, not hesitant, but I'm reluctant. I'll only step into something when I know we're ready to do that and make that move. And we've grown really well online. We've got a lovely sort of solid following in Muscat, in Dubai, even in Doha, we have a bit of a following there. So, we've got a good online grasp of our company and our identity.
Before you go on any further, how did you do that? So how did you manage to up your following, from the local market to basically the GCC?
There's a few different things. I think word of mouth is really good here. So we've really grown organically. And that's one thing that's, I think when you grow organically, naturally something just happens and your company evolves and gets bigger.
And that's predominantly through word of mouth and social media like Instagram, Facebook.
So a lot of our clientele initially, especially when we started, people would use products and say, oh great, I've seen a difference, and they would tell their friend or their sister or their cousin or their other friend, and then I would and it kept on sort of growing, I guess, because each person would tell somebody else, and it would keep sort of expanding in that form. And that was the best way. I think forums have been excellent as well. We're a big sort of fan of Muscat Beauty Spas and Salons forum that you run.
Thank you.
Lots of forums like that as well in the GCC, where conversations sparked and people share their experiences.
Yeah.
And
really, I think there's a trust, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So it really allows people to make that jump, whereas you could see a product and not know what it's capable of doing. On these forums, when they're reviewed and somebody says, actually, this product's effective, it does what it says, it really helps people make that plunge and say, actually, I'm going to reach out and contact them and see what they can do for me. So I think that's been one of the things that has helped us grow. Influencers have been quite helpful as well, to be honest. We've had quite a few influencers who have reached out to us, who we've reached out to, but we've not asked influencers to go ahead and post and review unless it's a product that they get on well with.
Yes,
so it's only when they
that
believe.
Honesty is so important. So obviously that's not just for the beauty wellness industry. I think that's across the board. It doesn't matter what sector you're in. Social media now, word of mouth, forums, so important to help grow business and trust.
In particular, the Omani market, I find in particular, they have a real affiliation to their influencers and the people that they watch on their Instagram and their TikToks and their Snapchats. So I think the more that the influencers want to get involved with your brand, the better for you. Not so much for sales, but more for awareness, I think, because your brand then becomes a lot more, I guess it's viewed by the bigger population in Oman, and it's a real thing here. Not just with the younger circle, I think even, with the older ladies, with the men, we have a unisex brand, so we have, male and females ordering from us.
That's fantastic. So you're just broadening that market circle.
Yeah.
That's really fantastic. So going back to the expansion and your next step.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
What we're going to do. I think we've got to that point where we've become well known within Oman, Muscat, and there's a lot of demand for people to be able to go in and buy off the shelf. I also think there's a lot of curiosity where people want to find out a bit more. They want to see, they want to visualize, they want to touch, to buy. And I think we're in that position now where we're confident in our brand, we're confident in our products, we know we deliver, we know we've got good customer satisfaction, that it's the right time to take it to somewhere like Mall of Oman, which is obviously very exciting, very fresh. It's got a lot of new brands in there at the moment and a lot of well-established brands. So we're really excited about Mall of Oman.
No, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, me too. It's can't come soon enough.
I know a big question that our viewers will be asking who are interested in moving into this sector, and particularly skincare, is pharmaceuticals. Are they available in Oman? Where do you get them? If they're not available here, how difficult or easy is it to get them through customs? I'm sure that there are many, many challenges on this subject. So clear some of them up for us.
So it took me a long time to establish the model that I was going to run with, as it would be, for my business, predominantly because of these fears as well. How am I going to import things in? What are the procedures? What are the processes? And generally speaking, if you have a beauty brand, there's two ways to go about things. One is you're importing in, and there's a separate sort of process for that. And there's a lot more regulations and processes up and coming over the last, I think since 2020, there's been a lot of changes with regards to cosmetic quality control, what the standards need to be, tests and testing, for example. When we're looking at pharmaceuticals, generally there's not a lot in Muscat that you can pick up. So most of the ingredients that we use within our brand are from the UK or the US.
Okay.
Of course, there's also China as an option, and a lot of people use China, but we go through established brands within the UK and the US because just for purity reasons and trust and
absolutely
all of those things.
Yeah.
When you're ordering, of course, with established couriers like DHL, Aramex, it's pretty straightforward. The processes are. If you're importing business amounts, of course, you'll need an importation license. But provided you are doing what your CR allows you to do, which is your company registration document, it's not difficult. I think gathering the information is the tough part, and that's what took me the longest, in all honesty, to set up my brand. That whole process of gathering and uncertainty of what the process and what the procedures need to be, that took the longest. I think the reason it could have taken us the longest is because the beauty industry was very up and coming over the last few years.
Yeah.
And the processes and the procedures weren't as established as they are now.
So do you feel that there has been some progression in the past couple of years,
Yeah,
2-3 years, that has made it easier for new businesses to actually
For
set
sure,
up?
there's clarity. There's a lot more clarity
That's
now.
good. That's interesting.
The ladies working in, predominantly ladies in cosmetic quality control, they are excellent. They're absolutely fabulous. They have all the information. You can go to them with multiple questions. They will help you. They will assist you. Generally speaking, the cosmetic standards here are very similar to the GCC. Just there's a GCC standard, and Oman pretty closely follows the GCC standards.
That's interesting as well.
And then there's various documents that you can download as well before opening up any sort of said cosmetic business. There are, I've forgotten the name of them off the top of my head now, but there's various, for example, you'll get manufacturing standards that you should be adhering to. You get cosmetic quality control standards, and they are under, for the life of me, I can't remember now, but perhaps you can find them later and put them down for your viewers.
Yes.
And you can go and start your research there and find out what's allowed and what isn't allowed and what ingredients and what percentages are, you know, these are very relevant when you're looking at things like, for example, with us, glycolic acid.
Yeah.
There's a percentage limit that we can use in cosmetics. There's a certain makeup the product needs to adhere to.
So does Oman follow the industry standard more or less? Or is that a grey area?
I think Oman is a combination of the EU, the US and GCC, but predominantly it really follows and models the GCC.
Okay.
Now there are changes in the EU comparatively to the GCC and the US, but it's subtle. They're subtle changes.
And as far as bringing your things in and your pharmaceuticals, your packaging, and all, have you found recently that those costs that you may have allocated to that side of the business 2 or 3 years ago are now far from what they are now? Yes.
Yeah, definitely. But I think there's also a lot more variety. For example, when we're talking about packaging, Oman has a lot more to offer now.
I've noticed
in
actually,
packaging.
yes.
Yeah. Prices perhaps not as competitive, but there's definitely a lot more options.
And how has that affected your pricing to your consumers?
Until now, I've tried to bear the burden of it because the whole, the ethos behind our brand was allowing people to have good, effective cosmetic care at home at a reasonable price. So, for example, most brands who deal with similar ingredients to us, like salicylic acid or glycolic acid, they will usually offer a 30 ml or a 20 ml bottle. We're offering a 60 ml bottle, relatively similar price. And again, the reason I did it was predominantly so that people would be able to have good value for money, use products, see the benefit from them, afford them, have affordability in mind as well.
So in your opinion, what are the main challenges for anyone who's working or planning to work in the beauty and wellness industry here in Oman?
I think marketing. Marketing is a real issue here, to be honest. I've not been impressed with anything I've seen with regards to marketing. So if there are any amazing marketing people out there, please contact me. Because comparatively, when we're looking at Dubai, and when not just Dubai, Saudi, Doha, all these places really have the marketing game on scratch. Oman is slightly disappointing. I find there's a lot of companies that reach out, but what they offer and their affordability,
not the same. It's not on the same level.
Yeah, and I think they could. You find a lot of companies here will promise the world with regards to marketing, but they offer very basic marketing, and it doesn't really do a lot to grow your brand. So I think the growth factor is limited. For us, I would love to have had a company here accessible to me that could help us grow. I'm yet to find a company like that. Our growth has been organic growth, as I said, word of mouth, online forums, perhaps a little bit of advertising as well. But generally, organic growth is where we've grown.
Okay, that's interesting. Marketing. Who'd have thought that would be the the challenge.
I know, unless I'm getting it wrong, which I can hold my hands up. Perhaps there's a possibility that there's somebody amazing out there, and they're yet to contact me.
If you can help Sarah, comment. So, lastly, for any of our viewers who would like to, or who's already moving into this sector, of which I know that there are many. Obviously, as you say, I run a beauty forum, so I know what's happening here. What would be your take-home piece of advice?
To them, somebody who's setting up, my advice, and it's based on me, who I am as a person, would be, don't take out big loans, don't do all of that. If you are one-man band, one person setting up a company, just reinvest your profits, reinvest your money, and your business will grow. I think that's for me, that was like gold, because it meant that it was great if my business grew as a stay-at-home mum. It was fantastic that it was growing, but it also meant that I had no liabilities, no responsibilities to pay back. So there wasn't that pressure. It was quite fun to watch it grow. Was fun, I think. Yeah, that's what I would personally suggest. If you're somebody like me that's setting up something out of passion, hobby, DIYing, watch your brand grow by reinvesting its own profits into it.
Sound advice. Thank you so much. Best of luck with your expansion plans. We'll all be watching from the sidelines and cheering you on.
Thank you. Please come and visit us in all of Oman.
And guys, as I said before, if you have any questions for Sarah, just pop them in the comments below and we will try and get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you for joining us on the Big Small Business Show. We will see you next week, maybe here, maybe somewhere else, who knows? Tune in and find out. Take care.
Join us on the Big Small Business Show every Sunday at 8 p.m. on TTV.